for God and country.
This is the Steve Gruber Show.
All right, it sure is, and welcome to the program. Glad to have you back for the conversation as we kick off another brand new hour here, fighting for you from the foxhole of freedom every single day. Who do you want in your foxhole? It's an important question. Look, it's getting tougher out there all the time. Do you wonder what happens next in America or in the world or on crime? Of course you do. All right, here are three big things you need to know this hour. Number one, Walgreens could become a thing of the past and soon. I mean, a private equity takeover means that more stores are closing. Told you about that. Number two, the Supreme Court hands President Trump another huge win on immigration, giving the green light for ICE raids to resume in California. And number three, back to the conversation we were having in the last hour. What is really in your vaccines? Time to talk about your health today, and it stems from a post on Truth Social by President Trump yesterday. It included a damning video about Thimerosal, and that is something you should certainly know about. Thimerosal is a preservative. It's a mercury-based product. And as the Dr. Quay told us last hour, mercury is one of those things that builds up in your system. It does not flush out easily. They told us it would. The proponents of these vaccines and Thimerosal said it would flush out of your system. Well, that's not really true. Heavy metals tend to build up in your system. So what is in your flu vaccine? What's in your flu shot? Actually, most vaccines, even those for kids, have some things in it you probably don't want. Donald Trump put this out on Truth Social yesterday. Listen.
Show them the Thimerosal bottle, which we keep in a metal container because we're a little afraid of it, and it's a very fine powder.
This is Thimerosal, which is labeled very toxic. Has cumulative effects, can cause damage to the kidneys, to the respiratory system, skin, to the nervous system. It specifically warns on here that it can cause reproductive and developmental toxicity, meaning that it can cause things like autism and other neurodevelopmental disorders. This is immensely toxic stuff.
And it's a vaccine.
And this is what's in the vaccine. It's important to realize we're talking about a whole range of products. Vaccines are a big one because, of course, you're directly injecting it. For example, this is tetanus vaccine. This one expires, it's a little outdated now, in 2007. Here's the Thimerosal. 1 to 10,000 is a preservative. Perhaps the biggest one in the U.S., at least, that's for exposure to mercury is the influenza vaccine. Influenza vaccine is now recommended for all pregnant women, all infants, all children on a yearly basis. You're supposed
You
to
have last year's influenza? Understand that Thimerosal is not added at the end. It's not like, well, that factory next year can make Thimerosal free. Thimerosal, you either have to have a Thimerosal free factory or you have to not have one. They add Thimerosal at each step because the factory is not clean and not sterile.
Pretty shocking, isn't it? Pretty shocking. It's in the vaccines, a lot of them. That tetanus shot that he had there that was expired 2007, and I'm not quite sure how old this video is. It's not a new video, obviously, by the looks of it. Posted on Truth Social by President Trump yesterday. But I sat here wondering, how many tetanus shots did I have in my life prior to 2007? The answer, several. Several. Also had flu shots along the way from time to time. What other shots I have? And in my schedule for vaccines was far fewer than those being given to kids today. And as the doctor said here the last hour, Dr. Quay said, you know, before the kid reaches to be about 6 months of age, their immune system not developed at all. Their immune system's coming from their mother, primarily. If they're breastfeeding, that's it. She's sharing her immunity with the child. That's why breastfeeding is so important, and why kids that breastfeed grow up to be healthier as a general rule than those that do not. So why would you give a Hep B jab at birth? I'm still waiting for somebody to explain that to me. It's a fair question. And if you want to hate on Robert F. Kennedy Jr., that's fine. There's some things that he has said and done that I have no agreement with. Kooky things, actually. But when it comes to vaccines, I can't help but Say again, I think it's a reasonable and legitimate conversation to have. Why do we have 70 vaccines or 80? He contends that the chickenpox vaccine led to the outbreak of shingles in older adults. Is it cause and effect? It's a legitimate conversation to be having. Oh, by the way, Thimerosal, it's not getting any better, not one bit. Here's more.
This is the influenza vaccine from Adventist Pasteur, their flu zone. Thimerosal, 25 micrograms of mercury per dose.
I'd like to point out that a lot of people didn't know, and I'm one of them. I've given 2,000 RhoGAM shots. I've been in vaccines for 35 years. I didn't know that RhoGAM had Thimerosal in it. So I think a lot of the doctors were unaware. They were unaware that even the word Thimerosal meant mercury.
Yeah, Thimerosal meant mercury that builds up in your fatty tissues, places like your brain, your kidneys, your nervous system. Ever wondered what the impact of that would be over time? We know what lead poisoning does to kids, of course. What about these other things? I think they're reasonable questions to have, my friends. I'd love you to send me a note. Send me an email. Go to stevegruber.com. Send me an email. Say, here's what I think about the vaccines. Maybe they're an issue. Maybe they're not an issue. I don't know. There is some conversation. You know this, Tylenol linked to autism. That's what Robert F. Kennedy is apparently going to say, that pregnant women that took Tylenol, that had a cause and effect, or at least causational relationship to autism and the explosion of autism in America. Is it Tylenol? Is that the environmental problem? Wouldn't that be something? Tylenol, I think, came online about 1955. I'd have to go back and look, but I think that's about the right time. Worth the questions. Asking questions doesn't make you a kook. Refusing to answer the questions and being weird about it, that does make you a bit kooky. I think asking questions, more questions, is a good idea. This part of the program is sponsored by PureClean's Veterans Initiative, PureVet. PureVet, because life after service deserves opportunity, ownership, and purpose. PureClean is a reclamation company. They'll help you clean up after the flood, the fire, the disaster that hit you, right? Well, they're offering an opportunity for veterans to have their own franchise, to get to the front of the line. PureVet.com. You can find out more, or you can give them a call, 855-PureVet. Frank Torrey and his organization there are putting veterans first, and I can't say enough good things about them. PureVet.com. Check it out. If you're a veteran, or if you know one and you want to have a chance at owning your own company, this is it, friends, right now. PureVet.com. I'll be right back.